The playoffs have come to the mountains and high plains of northern Colorado for the first time, with a second-year side hosting a club making their first postseason appearance since 2019. From Future Legends Field in Windsor, it's Northern Colorado Hailstorm and Forward Madison FC. It's the USL League One quarterfinals on ESPN+. I'm Donnie Barnes. Welcome back to the postseason as we see the 2023 League One playoff bracket. This is the third versus sixth seed quarterfinal. Last night, Charlotte beat Greenville 3-2 in a thrilling first quarter. They now await the result of this game tonight because the bracket gets reseeded after the first round. The lowest seed that progresses to the semis plays the number one seed, Union Omaha. Forward Madison, the 6. If they win tonight, they would go to Omaha next week. Northern Colorado were the second leading scorers in the regular season. Arthur Rogers a big reason for that. He won the league's Golden Playmaker Award with 11 assists, especially dangerous on crosses and set-piece deliveries, and many of his assists came to this man, Trevor Ammon, the Golden Boot winner with 23 goals. That was a new League One record. He can score with his left, he can score with his right, he can score with his head, which is why he's had the breakout year he's enjoyed. Madison can't afford to give away too many free kicks in dangerous areas tonight. They've got to keep tabs on both those dangerous guys. Christian Cheney, meanwhile, needs to fire for Forward Madison, who have struggled to score goals lately. Cheney led them with 10 goals this season. He hasn't scored since August. Plenty of good chances since then. He helps them in plenty of other ways with his good hold-up play and all-around strength and effort. But Madison have got to take their chances tonight, and that begins with Cheney, who has to be that physical presence and that finishing presence up top. The Mingos may have struggled lately, but their head coach Matt Glazer said this week that we feel there's more to us than what we showed down the stretch. There's a hunger to see if we can get something done here in the postseason. While Hailstorm boss Eamon Zayed said, I feel we're the best team in the league. If we don't win it, I'll be devastated. Who marches on? Who goes home? Kickoff next.
Shields All Sports Store is your one stop for everything outdoors, with local experts eager to guide you through the widest selection of brands. Your one stop for exercise gear to get working out or fashions for going out. And your one stop for footwear in your size, your style, yours to take home today. Shields, employee owned, community minded, and like no place you've ever shopped before.
For the first time in club history, it's playoff time. So let's kick it off. We've earned a lot of points, but we've still got a point to prove. We've scored a lot of goals, but we've still got one goal left, and we're aiming to achieve it right here. We've already made history this season. Now we need you to help make even more. It's time to defend our fortress, the one you've helped make so strong all season. It's time to terrify the opposition on Halloween. It's time to raise hail and raise the trophy.
The procession onto the pitch before this League One quarterfinal between Northern Colorado Hailstorm and Forward Madison FC. Let's see a comparison between these two sides statistically during the regular season this year. And as you'll see momentarily, both these sides excellent defensively. Two of the stubbornest defenses to break down all season long. The difference has been in the goal-scoring department. Northern Colorado, as mentioned in our open, the second leading scorers on the year, 59 goals. Forward Madison, meanwhile, the third least goal scorers in the league with just 38. Forward Madison survived on their stingy defense that has allowed them to hang around in lots of low-scoring games. With Northern Colorado's potent attack, though, you suspect forward Madison are going to have to find the net perhaps a couple times here tonight. Here is the starting 11 for Northern Colorado as lined up by head coach Eamon Zayed. Just one change from their 3-1 win over Chattanooga Red Wolves last week. Noah Powder is back from international duty, so he goes back into the starting 11 as Enoch Kwakwa drops to the bench. Powder has been inserted into that front two. Billy King drops into the hole behind those two forwards and will play as a forward attacking midfielder. Lalo Delgado in goal for Northern Colorado. He's been terrific this year, part of 13 clean sheets, the most in the league that Northern Colorado posted this season. Forward Madison, meanwhile, head coach Matt Glazer sends out a starting 11 that sees two changes from their 1-0 defeat to Omaha last week. Aiden Macias misses the game with an ankle injury. He was a game-time decision. Coach Glazer told us earlier this week he apparently has not made it. He's not in the 18. So Mauro Sacchero comes in up top to pair with Christian Cheney. Nazim Bartman drops into the midfield. Timmy Mell is back in the starting 11. Sam Brotherton, we believe, will shift to fullback on the right side, which he hasn't played this year. Stephen Payne moves up from his usual right back position to the right side of midfield. And Bert Shipman, part of 12 clean sheets for forward Madison this year. He has also been excellent in goal for his side. Forward Madison and Northern Colorado, the two teams with the most shutouts this season. So we are a little bit behind schedule on kickoff tonight, but you see the two captains both wearing number 4s. Rob Cornwall in the navy blue for Northern Colorado. Mitch Osmond, the veteran center back for forward Madison. So Northern Colorado will be in their navy blue kits tonight with forward Madison in the pink. I want to say hello to all the forward Madison fans who are watching this road match in the Forward Club back at Breeze Stevens Field in Madison. Everyone there is so excited for their club's first postseason match since 2019. There is Bernd Shipman wearing that very colorful goalkeeper kit. The Mingos always bring the style wherever they go. And tonight they hope to advance to the semifinal. They are the underdogs, but that matters little in postseason soccer sometimes. They will look to hang around early. They have tended to start fast in games. They have tended to create good opportunities early in games, and the question for them is, can they take some of those opportunities? Northern Colorado, normally the favorites don't necessarily like being taken to extra time and possibly penalties in a knockout match, in a playoff match like this. But the Hailstorm feel at elevation, playing at home, where opposing teams sometimes have difficulty lasting 90 minutes, let alone potentially 120 here tonight. They don't necessarily mind seeing extra time if it comes to that. So if this game is still tight in the 75th minute or so, look for Northern Colorado to not necessarily take too many chances in those final 15 of regular time. But lots to happen between now and potentially then, as the Hailstorm will get us underway, moving from left to right in this first half. And their Golden Boot winner, Trevor Ammon, will kick things off. It's a good crowd here at Future Legends Field. Our referee this evening is Joshua Encarnacion. Here we go. Will it be the Hailstorm moving on to North Carolina next week, or will the Mingos spring an upset and set up a grudge semifinal with Omaha? Northern Colorado starting with the back three tonight. They have alternated between a back three and a back four throughout the year. Very tactically flexible team under Eamon Zayed. Lalo Delgado has made such a difference for them in goal this year. And they are very confident, understandably, in him if this or any of their playoff matches were to go to penalties, because he has been the best penalty shot stopper in the league during the regular season. See the playoff record for Madison, just their second playoff match. They lost in the semifinal in 2019 to North Texas, who were an all-time juggernaut that year, of course, featuring names like Ricardo Pepi and others. Early touch for Bernd Shipman. And Mitch Osmond. You see Noah Powder, who has largely been coming off the bench for Northern Colorado in recent weeks, but getting better and better, his fitness growing as this year has worn on, Eamon Zayed said, and so he's in the lineup tonight. See what impact he can make right from the very beginning. Good winning of the ball in midfield for Madison. It's good early work by Nazim Bartman. Northern Colorado ended the season red hot. They won 8 of their last 10 games. 8 wins, just 1 defeat and a draw. As Eamon Zayed said this week, any other year we would have won the Players' Shield. North Carolina finishing a point ahead of them for second. And Union Omaha finishing 3 points ahead by winning 13 of their final 14 games to take the Shield. Free kick now for Madison just into the attacking half. As the foul whistled against Arthur Rogers. Nazim Bartman shielding that ball well. Rogers going through the back of his heels. Now the Mingos looking to build their first attack. It's Kroll crossing. It's a good ball in. It might fall to Cicero, who pulls it back, and a right-footed effort cannons off a body. Bouncing around, still alive for the Mingos, looking for a free kick as Cicero went down. Nothing given by the referee, and Rendon looks to spring a counter the other way, but can't connect with Ammon. And it will roll all the way across the end line for a goal kick. See Matt Glazer in the foreground. It'll be interesting to watch tactically as you see Matt Glazer wearing a very stylish forward Madison hoodie tonight. Northern Colorado like to play long balls out of the back. As Matt Glazer said this week, they'll circulate the ball around their back 3 or back 4 and wait for opportunities to ping those balls long, and they're very good at that. Arthur Rogers and others capable of hitting those accurate long passes. So Madison's looking to deny those tonight. It'll be interesting to watch Madison's fullbacks, meanwhile, when they attack. That was something Eamon Zayed told us to look out for this week. Towering header won, but at the expense of a free kick, which Northern Colorado are incensed about. This will be a chance for Madison perhaps to swing one into a dangerous area. And I think that's Rogers, who has been penalized again. Northern Colorado have felt hard done by this year. They have been the most penalized team in the league in terms of penalties conceded. See the replay. Rogers getting up over the top. He felt he did nothing wrong. Northern Colorado were the second most yellow-carded team in the league this year. No cards yet tonight. Cicero is around this. He runs over the top of it. Pinged into the area. Good header away. Back into the mix from Wheeler Amanu. Flicked back, it almost went through, but intercepted by Cornwall before it did, and Marky Hernandez completes the clear. And sets up a foot race. That'll be easily won by forward Madison. Bart Shipman calmly plays out of the back, which he is very adept at doing. And then a free kick given again against Northern Colorado. All free kicks tonight are presented by Fatty Sticks. They are officially Fatty Sticks free kicks. Forward Madison have had a few of them in these early going. Christian Cheney drifting out wide to pick up that ball. Madison, of course, like to play a controlled, possession-based style. It's part of how they've been such a good defensive side this year. They possess the ball so much. They can strangle opponents' attacks simply by keeping the ball. They could have been a bit more clinical at times this year. They would have won more games, especially in the second half of the season, where they often played well in general. But weren't quite able to find that cutting edge in the final third. Might find it here, though. Cicero, the flag stayed down, but Lalo Delgado was out to gather. It's a good idea for Madison, who have started decently in these opening 6 minutes. Bruno Rendon, another player, has gotten better and better as the years gone on for Northern Colorado. It's one of those examples where they cycle it around the back and play that long ball forward. Big shouts for a free kick, nothing given. And the crowd and the Hailstorm frustrated with the officiating early in this one. See the fans packed around the sideboards on the far side of the pitch. Eamon Zayed spoke this week about how the atmosphere here at Future Legends Field has gotten better and better as the year has gone on. And this is still a temporary home for them. They'll move into their permanent home soon. This ball over the top, Cheney giving chase, but Delgado made it a bit of an adventure, but able to gather eventually. Now Lucky Oprah making progress down that far side. Looking to switch play out to the right, and that's a good ball. Taken down by Noah Powder. Has Rendon to his right. Powder unleashes with the left and curls it just wide. Not a bad hit from Powder. Sliced just a bit too much in the end. And if you're Madison, not really a guy you want to sag off of like that, because Powder can hit them from distance. He's scored a couple free kicks and is very capable of scoring from that kind of range. He felt he should have done better there. Powder just got back from international duty, as mentioned, with Trinidad and Tobago. Made an impact for them in the game he appeared in during CONCACAF play. Came on as a substitute and won a penalty for his side. Eamon Zayed said that talent and ability has never been the issue for Powder. He's finally figuring out how to harness those things this year. Meanwhile, Madison off a loose ball have a chance to create something here. It's Sachero. Mauro Sachero came off a body and then pinged out of play by Powder. It'll be an attacking throw for forward Madison. Sachero will leave it behind. Jacob Kroll will attempt perhaps a long throw. Kroll trebuchets it in toward that front post and headed behind. It'll be the first corner of the match. Forward Madison will have it. All corners tonight presented by Meadow Gold. Well, anytime you're an underdog, especially on the road in a knockout match, set pieces are always critical, and sometimes set pieces can be where you find the difference. Find those key goals to upset the apple cart. Played long to the top of the box. The header won, but illegally so, says Joshua Encarnacion. Free kick for the home side. Sam Brotherton rose well, but climbed the back of the defender. This is the first time that Brotherton and Timmy Mell have been in the starting 11 together for forward Madison this year. Brotherton not normally a right back. Both teams claiming this throw will be Northern Colorado's. They want to take it quickly. Interesting to see how Brotherton does at that right back spot tonight. You suspect he'll stay home and be fairly conservative about coming forward, except maybe on corners and set pieces like that previous sequence. With Stephen Payne moving up to the right side of midfield instead of the right back spot, that means he can get forward and attack more freely and not have to worry about tracking back as much. Not leaving as much of that space on the right flank vacated when he does go forward. Rendon now by the corner flag. Looking to create something for Noko. His cross in, headed away solidly. Stout defending early on from Madison, as you'd expect from them. Sachero, who's drifting all over the pitch, nominally starting up top in a front two, but you see how much he'll move around to try to pick up the ball. Showing his midfield instincts, perhaps. Forward Madison would desperately love another crack at Union Omaha. If they could win tonight, they would get it. They would go to Werner Park next week. They lose it here in the center of the park, though. Norte trying to profit from that. King, great little flick, almost into the path of Marky Hernandez. Intercepted crucially by Andrew Wheeler-Amanu. He looks to spring Cheney the other way. Cheney was up by himself. Rogers claims that throw and gets it. 12 minutes gone, 0-0. As we remind you that Select is the official match ball supplier of USL League One and many elite leagues throughout Europe. Visit www.us.select-sport.com for the latest Select products, specials, and more. Select, the player's choice. So Madison won another crack at Omaha. That happens if they win tonight. Northern Colorado won another shot at North Carolina FC. That's what they would get if they win this evening. And the bracket gets reseeded after this quarterfinal round, with Charlotte, the 4 seed, having advanced against Greenville last night. That would mean they would go to Omaha if Northern Colorado win this one. Carolina, the 2nd seed in the regular season. They'll be at home for that semifinal. Here's Marky Hernandez now, looking to serve one in. Overcooks it. Stays in play, though, for Billy King. King, the 2nd leading scorer for NoCo this year. He hasn't scored in a couple months, though. Stands that one up back post. Comes all the way through. Loose ball, and now a foul given. And that ends this attack for Northern Colorado. Forward Madison didn't really deal with the cross initially, but do enough in the end. It's a good ball in from Billy King. And it just snuck over the head of Brotherton. Well, Marky Hernandez a little overzealous in pursuing it. Forward Madison never afraid to play out from the back. They're very good at it, even under pressure. You saw an example of that there. Here's Stephen Payne now. Payne able to beat one man. Into the middle it goes. It's Kroll with a chance to line one up. It's Jacob Kroll. It deflects and it goes wide. It'll be a corner. It was nearly so much more for Madison. Their best attack of the night so far. Kroll doesn't necessarily find himself in these central attacking positions too often. Plays out on the wing, but almost took advantage. It deflected up off Cornwall. Northern Colorado fortunate that it stayed out. A 2nd Meadow Gold corner in these opening 15 minutes for the visitors. They play it short. Cycled in far side and headed back across the end line, and this will be a goal kick. Couldn't tell who got the final hit on it, but apparently it was a player in pink. So they worked it to the angle, and Nazim Bartman, decent cross in, but unable to put it on frame. This is the only playoff game in progress in USL League One tonight. Multiple playoff games in progress in USL Championship, and some stunners already in the opening round there. Detroit City, the 8th seed, knocking out regular season champion Pittsburgh Riverhounds on the road. Wow, 1-0 the final there. Meanwhile, Birmingham Legion are stunning Tampa Bay Rowdies 3-0. They're in the 83rd minute. Not many gave Birmingham much of a chance in that one. So it looks like the top 2 seeds might fall in USL Championship already tonight. San Antonio and Colorado Springs underway. They're 0-0 in the 15th minute. Here 0-0 in the 17th. Madison have had the better of these early exchanges. The question for Madison always is, when they have their good passages of play, which they almost always do, it's what can they actually make from them? Can they make it tell on the scoreboard? So that's too far for Ammon, who hasn't really gotten involved too much so far. Goal kick for the Mingos. Madison like to play it short from these goal kick situations, as they are here. Northern Colorado not pressing too aggressively early in this game. Long from Brotherton. That's a good ball. Didn't reach Cheney, though, who's making an intelligent run. Headed clear by Leo Fola, who's an excellent aerial player. Wins a great majority of his aerial duels. That looked like a high boot. Play on, says the referee. Playing advantage, it's Cheney. It's Christian Cheney. Cheney! Wide. He can hit them from there. He's shown it before. Plenty of power behind it. Norte got the boot up high there. It was a good advantage played, though, by Joshua Encarnacion, and Cheney unable to bend it inside that far post. Matt Glazer's been very happy with Christian Cheney's contributions this year, even though the goals haven't been coming for him lately. The advanced metrics, his goals added statistic, among the best in the league. So Glazer said this week that shows how many other ways he helps the team. This long ball will find Noah Powder perhaps, but great tracking back. Osmond able to put it out for a throw. Really well done by Mitch Osmond. Now Rendon. King. Powder. And another throw for the home side. Interesting tactical feeling out period in these opening 20 minutes. Rendon lofts it into the box. Not a convincing header away, and a headed down in the end by Marky Hernandez. That might go down as a shot on target, not with any kind of power. An easy pickup for Burn Shipman. Not sure if Rendon meant to head that right back to his goalkeeper. If he did, that was really good. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Northern Colorado finished 7th last year, missed the playoffs by tiebreaker. They'll have a free kick here. This will be the first attacking free kick of the night for Northern Colorado. And that's something that you have to limit, of course, when you play against them. Rendon taken down by Sachero. It's a clear foul. And this is the first opportunity for Arthur Rogers to swing one into the danger zone. 9 of Rogers' league-leading 11 assists this year came from set pieces like this one. He is a dead ball master. And this is why, when you're playing against them, you can't put yourself in these situations too often. Rogers rakes it in, back post, and headed wide. Rendon got forward, got on the end of it, couldn't direct it on frame. You see what a gorgeous ball Rogers serves in. Perhaps just an inch or two too much height for Rendon to get over it. That's the danger they always pose from situations like that. Madison have done a decent job so far of limiting those situations. They have to continue to do so. Martinez had that go off a body. Osmond able to get it clear. Rogers with a neat takedown in traffic. That does really well. Rendon now. Rogers with the switch to Opera. Madison now dropping back. Fine with defending deep when they need to. Norte. Rogers. Rendon, Powder, neat little clip. Rendon almost onto the end of it. Good pass back to Shipman, though. He now picks it up, and Northern Colorado saying, hey, that was a back pass. He can't do that. Referee saw nothing wrong. On we go. Martinez, that's not a good ball out, and almost pinged into Ammon's path. And now some danger signs, some alarm bells ringing for forward Madison these last couple minutes. Northern Colorado starting to grow their way into this game. You see Eamon Zayed still upset about that potential back pass a moment ago. Every touch, every moment, and yes, every refereeing decision, so critical, especially in a knockout game like this. Any little moment can be the one that leads to the winning goal that changes everything. Free kick for Madison. Those little sequences are just fine for them. Win free kicks, frustrate the home side and the home crowd. They want that. It's hard to see too many weaknesses for Northern Colorado the way they've played this year. They have such a strong side from back to front. They were the best defense in the league, the second leading scorers in the league. So many strengths in so many areas of the pitch. Even though they finished third, Shipman under pressure but calmly plays out of it again. Many pundits, though, picking Northern Colorado to go all the way and win the championship, win the title. If there's one question mark, perhaps, it's can they keep their cool in a game where things aren't going their way? Already tonight in the first quarter of this match, we've seen some signs of some bubbling frustration from them. Flicked on by Cheney. Delgado to the edge of his area, gathers. Well, he doesn't gather, does he? But able to ping it clear in the end. Couldn't pick it up once it was outside that 18-yard area. But he gets away with it, and Rogers can build for Noco. Lucky Opera. Osmond. Intercepted, though. It's Brotherton in the way for now. It's Hernandez taking possession for Northern Colorado. Marky Hernandez, who scored 5 goals in his last 10 games, really sparked to life late in the year. His cross in, intended for Ammon. Thumped away. Second ball's being fought over. Sachero takes it down, and now Madison maybe a chance to counter, but that's snuffed out by Leo Fola. Shouts for a foul against Andrew Wheeler-Amanu, but it's a throw for Madison. If you can't watch the match, turn on Sirius XM FC 157. That's North America's only 24/7 source for engaging soccer talk, including USL All Access, Tuesday nights at 7 Eastern. Plus hear live matches from the USL, MLS, English Premier League, and more. All on Sirius XM FC 157 and the SXM app. We've seen hints of the danger forward Madison can pose tonight, though, on the counterattack. They're able to spring Stephen Payne and Christian Cheney forward after winning possession back. They can cause problems for Northern Colorado. Nearly have a couple of times. That's turned over to Rogers, though. And Rogers with the ball to King. It's Billy King, and it's Bernd Shipman behind it. And King's wait for his 9th goal of the year goes on. I believe that will be the first official shot on target for Northern Colorado tonight. At the other end, Christian Cheney is offside. See how quickly Arthur Rogers is able to find the feet of Billy King. It's another reason Rogers has so many assists. It's not just that he can whip in aerial balls. He can play it along the deck quite accurately when he needs to as well. switch of play didn't quite work out for the Hailstorm. Flying challenge. Works out. Oprah resets. Rogers, who's currently playing on that left side of the back three, he'll drift all around. See him now cutting to the near side as Cornwall uses Delgado. A little bit of pressure being applied by Sachero. Now Cheney steps up. Delgado uses the long ball. Kroll was in the way. Martinez, who is not the tallest, beaten in the air. This might come down for Sachero, though. Good control off his chest, but against the double team, Rogers wins that. Rogers looking to release somebody and nearly released Rendon, but didn't connect. And you see those little signs of frustration just creeping in for Northern Colorado, and that's exactly what forward Madison want to see. That means their game plan is working well so far. Hailstorm FC and future legends print with the pros at Color Pro Printing of Fort Collins. They make your vision a reality. Check them out at colorproprint.com. Cheney, good touch. Almost was able to spring Nazim Bartman. What a good turn under pressure that was, though. That's an example of what Christian Cheney gives his team. Even when he doesn't score, his hold-up play with his back to goal, his ability to lay the balls off with a single touch. Strong quality. Almost paid off for the Mingos there. Cheney able to win that initial header, and it comes back to him now. And again, he uses his body well. Bartman for Payne. See Payne attracting a double team. Cole tracking back to take that down. Sachero. Osmond. Among the league leaders in passes completed. A little bit of pressure there for Wheeler Amanu, but handled it okay. Trevor Ammon is looking to press a little bit at the front of that attacking trio. Sachero looking to spring Kroll, and does. Jacob Kroll is galloping down this left side, looking to pick out a cross. Kroll too close to Delgado. Cheney was crashing in toward that near post. Bit too much air under it from Kroll in the end. Ask Matt Glazer this week, what should we watch for? How will we know if things are going well for you when we look at this game? Excluding the score, of course. He said, if we're limiting the amount of good chances that they get, that will be a good sign for us. He said, I thought we did quite well the last time we were out there. They scored on a penalty and a free kick. Those were their only 2 shots on goal. That's calmly headed back to his keeper by Kroll. Well done. Shipman will take his time before picking up. Well, we're a half an hour in. So far, so good for forward Madison. They have indeed limited those chances for Northern Colorado. Cole does well again there. He's had an excellent first half an hour. Again, the thing for forward Madison is they've got to make it count on the scoreboard sooner or later. I hate to harp on that, but that is an issue for them this year. Matt Glazer has to be very happy with what he's seen so far. Working it around well here, and Stephen Payne can run at defenders again. This is that ball movement, circulation, control that Matt Glazer preaches. They've scored some gorgeous goals this year when they have scored, forward Madison. Their second goal against Richmond last month, for example, one of the finest goals you'll see all year in League One. Came directly from the second half kickoff. but about 50 seconds later, after nearly everyone in pink touched it. Ball almost left a bit short. Well done by Cornwall to make it work. See Madison dropping back in their banks of 4 now. Rogers has time to pick a pass. Short to Nortie instead, and Nortie sprays it really well on the right. King has the underlap from Rendon and uses him. Rendon's cross, and didn't get his angles right. It's behind for a goal kick. eFootball 2024 is here. Live your dream, rep your team, and play as your favorite USL Championship club. Free to play. Download now. Madison again playing it out from the back. Oprah does well to stop that though, and Marky Hernandez can go the other way. Ammon keeps it well. Cornwall now. A rock at the heart of their defense and has gotten up on set pieces and scored a few goals as well this season. There's one of those long balls and just beyond Bruno Rendon. See Matt Glazer applauding at the bottom of your screen. He really likes the way his team's defending so far. It is final in Tampa Bay in USL Championship playoffs. Birmingham Legion, a rather shocking 3-0 win on the road. So Pittsburgh Riverhounds out. Tampa Bay Rowdies out. San Antonio Colorado Springs 0-0 in the 34th minute. Later tonight in USL Championship, Sacramento Republic home to New Mexico United, and Orange County SC home to El Paso Locomotive. Well, that's given away, and falling over was Ammon. Forward Madison fortunate there. Nazim Bartman has had a couple of those turnovers at the bottom of midfield. Don't want to do that too often against Northern Colorado. Here's Kroll. Spins out for a throw. Martinez just did keep possession. Osman retreats and retrieves. Good flicked header by Sicero. That allows Cheney to win a throw in the attacking third. See Eamon Zayed at the bottom of your screen. He's back to wearing those sweaters and cardigans now that the weather has gotten chillier again. It's a beautiful day in Northern Colorado today. There's Eamon Zayed. Match time temperature 70 degrees. It will get chillier as we go through the night. Wind not too bad. No chance of rain. So a great night to play soccer. A great night to run all night. Other than the fact that this game is at 4,700 feet above sea level, which for forward Madison could become an issue as this match wears on, especially if we see extra time. Matt Glazer said their approach to the elevation here is to get in as late as possible and get out as early as possible. Those are basically the options when you're dealing with having to play at elevation and your team isn't acclimated to it. You can either get in about a week before the game and have all week to get your body acclimated, or you can try to fly in as close to the game as possible. Basically not give your body long enough to be affected by it. But he acknowledged it is still a challenge, especially if they end up playing 120 minutes tonight. Said we would likely have to absorb some pressure in those extra time sessions, but they would be happy just to get there and still be in with a chance. They are certainly right in it 36 minutes in. That was almost given away, but it was a foul given against Madison. Loveland Laser Tag has the biggest laser tag arena on the Front Range, plus they serve delicious food, draft beer, and unlimited fun every day. Come eat, play, and tag at LLT, Northern Colorado's premier entertainment center. From the Hailstorm standpoint, it's been a pretty tame first half. They have not flashed that attacking prowess very often. That is to Madison's credit. They are a team that can always spark to life in any moment. And they're going to have a free kick here as a first yellow card of the night is shown. And it's shown to Isidro Martinez for tugging back Lucky Opera. So one number 7 fouls the other and goes into the book. Yeah, clear tug back. Martinez did not want to let Lucky Opera sprint away.
Forward Madison, Isidro Martinez, number 7.
So Martinez, who spent the last few years in USL Championship with Rio Grande Valley and New Mexico United. Into the book, 37 minutes in. Rogers over the free kick. Plays it short. Madison will take that. Rogers again. Trying to slide it along the line to Billy King, but that was read and intercepted. Chance for the Mingos to counter. Payne dropping deep, more into his normal right back position in that occasion, and now the pink shirts flooding forward, but a bad first touch by Sachero, and Powder is sprinting the other way for Northern Colorado. Noah Powder, Trevor Ammon, bouncing ball, chaos. It falls to Ammon. Danger still there, but trying to pull it back for Noah Powder, who's frustrated. Sticks up on this turf, and finally is cleared by Madison. Back and forth we go now. Good sequence. Sachero with space in the middle of the park to pick something out. And that does come off Rendon, I believe. Yes, it will be a corner, the third of this opening half for forward Madison. Well, pull out all the cliches. If you're the underdog on the road in a knockout match against an opponent with lots of firepower, you have to defend really well, and in key moments, you have to get some breaks. Madison have gotten a couple tonight when they have turned the ball over in bad situations. That last sequence, they again got away with, and now they have an attacking set piece at the other end. Isidro Martinez walking over to take it. Another Meadow Gold corner kick. Martinez has the option to play it short again. Instead, he swings it near post, comes all the way through, wasn't cleared convincingly. Back into the mix, and finally booted away. Well, Madison almost had what they wanted there. 40 minutes gone, 0-0, into the final 5 of this opening half. That long ball almost picked out Marky Hernandez, but the flag was up. Becker Safety and Supply has you covered from head to toe. They provide industry-leading products and services to help keep you safe. Located in Windsor and Greeley and online at beckersafety.com. Bernd Shipman has had a terrific season for forward Madison. Pinging around on the edge of the box. Now a bouncing ball to Chase. Headed back confidently by Osmond. Ammon was lurking as usual, but Shipman collects. He told the Mingos that they'd be 41 minutes in and Trevor Ammon would not have had a sight at goal yet. They would have taken that with both hands. Sachero volleyed forward, but to no one in particular. Delgado all the way out by his corner flag. That play had been whistled down. Ayman Zayed said he expected Madison would be challenging to break down. He also admitted he was a little bit nervous about playing them for a third time in a month. Remember, these two teams met twice between September and early October. A 0-0 draw in a really hard-fought, well-played, well-defended game at Breese Stevens Field back in September. And then the 2-0 Northern Colorado win here just 2 weeks ago on the 7th. But that was a closer game than it might seem. There was nothing in the first half of that one. That header back from Brotherton might fall for Ammon. Now the foul given, free kick, and this is going to be a yellow card for Northern Colorado as well. It's Marky Hernandez who committed that foul and will go into the book. First card for the home side tonight. Ammon tried to take that down and scoot around Timmy Mell. And then Hernandez clipping his man. First card for the home side. So it's Hernandez for Noco and Martinez for Madison on cautions currently. Stephen Payne, the man fouled. This first half, an example of how Forward Madison are able to hang in games, even when they're not scoring goals. Stout defensively, well-positioned, well-drilled, and they move the ball very fluidly, including out from the back, even under pressure. They've not been troubled too much so far. That foul given against Cheney, throw in or a free kick, I should say, for Northern Colorado. Being told as of now there will be no additional stoppage time added to the end of this half, so we are indeed into the final minute of the first half. There have not been many stoppages. Apparently nothing to warrant even an additional minute. Might suit both sides just fine, honestly. As Powder plays one long on the edge of the box, Shipman way out, and it's Ammon. Ball still in play. Ammon! Trevor Ammon does it again right before halftime. Shipman has stayed down. Two men have stayed down, but it's Northern Colorado into the lead. It's a disaster for Madison. They defended so well, but Shipman came out of his area and got it all wrong. And you hope he's okay. It's stuck up on the turf. I think Shipman expected it to travel further. What a good finish by Ammon. And a navy blue breakthrough for Northern Colorado right before the half. Their first playoff goal gives them the lead in this quarterfinal. And that apparently is the end of the first half. Or is it? Sounded like the referee had blown the whistle. El Shipman is back up. That's good to see. Norte Norti, the man who had stayed down for Northern Colorado, he was the one involved in that collision. They did decide to add another minute after saying they wouldn't, and that goal scored after the 45 minutes were up, but of course it's always at the referee's discretion. Weird moment, weird goal, priceless for Northern Colorado potentially. It could send them to the semifinal, and it will leave Madison with a lot to do in the second half, even though they're still very much in this. That is a sickener for them to absorb. They were so close to getting through the first half at 0-0. Bernd Shipman was shown a yellow card for that sequence. So kickoff from the goal. How much more time will be added now? Do Madison have time to build one more attack before half? Sicero wins that. Martinez connects with Payne. Hear the wind whipping up now, starting to accelerate. And this is going to be a late free kick for forward Madison. And Northern Colorado, I think, asking why the half hasn't ended yet. But we will play on, and there will be one more set piece for Madison. Kroll absorbed the contact there and has stayed down. See him grabbing at his left ankle area. Maybe got the studs from Bruno Rendon. Tough to see there. It is a yellow card for Bruno Rendon. So the second caution for Northern Colorado of this first half. Well, we thought the half would end right at 45 minutes. We're still playing 3.5 minutes later. Sicero and Martinez around this. A Fatty Sticks free kick very late in the first half. Sicero in. Good ball. Delgado came, didn't get there. Cleared enough, and that's halftime. Frustrating end of the half for forward Madison. They were so close to getting to the locker room at 0-0, having frustrated the home side, having frustrated the favorites for the majority of the first half. But the mistake right at the end handed the ball to Trevor Ammon, who is precisely the wrong man to hand it to. The Golden Boot winner. A potentially priceless goal for Northern Colorado, who lead at the break in this quarterfinal by 1-0.
Shields All Sports Store is your one stop for everything outdoors, with local experts eager to guide you through the widest selection of brands. Your one stop for exercise gear to get working out or fashions for going out. And your one stop for footwear in your size, your style, yours to take home today. Shields, employee owned, community minded, and like no place you've ever shopped before.
It's a new day, Northern Colorado, and we're set to seize it. More than that, we're out to dent the old standard and set the gold standard. Today is about resilience. That's something our squad has shown and continues to show. Today is about growth. That's a trait this team and this town have seen and continue to see. All this time, the focus has been on our community's legendary future. But today, it dawned on us. The future is now. Are we building something special? Hell yeah, we are.
Halftime in Northern Colorado in our second League One quarterfinal. Last night in our first quarterfinal, it was a barn burner between Greenville and Charlotte. Let's see the highlights now. A tremendous first quarter final between the Independents and the Triumph, and it was Greenville getting on the board first in the 13th minute. Alan Gavilanes winning that challenge and then slicing in a beautiful opening goal from just outside the area. Great strike, great start for Greenville, who led 1-0 at the break and appeared to be in command, but Charlotte have so many weapons, and in the second half, that came to the fore. First from Joel Johnson, who beautifully curled an equalizer into that side netting in the 51st to level things at 1. And that really got Charlotte going as they would pour it on and overwhelm Greenville over the next 25 minutes. They took the lead in the 74th. Gabriel Oberton, who was sensational throughout, off the initial strike that was deflected, he finds it first. Nobody else could, and he volleys it home expertly to give Charlotte a 2-1 advantage in the 74th minute. Oberton, the former Manchester United and Newcastle striker, showing his quality when his team needed it most. And they would add to that lead 5 minutes later. Avion Flanagan only scored once during the regular season. You wouldn't have known it here. Watch the cutback, watch the kiss off the far post and in. 3-1 Charlotte. And it looked like they would cruise from there as you see Flanagan's gorgeous strike again. However, Greenville never give up, and they would make it tight again early in stoppage time. 92nd minute, this ball deflects eventually off Nate Schultz, who maybe didn't know a lot about it. Doesn't matter though. It was 3-2, and it set up that proverbial grandstand finish. Greenville would create some danger late, but Charlotte hung on for a 3-2 victory to advance to the semifinal. They celebrated with the Mecklenburg reserves, and now they await the outcome of this one to see where they're going next.
We all have goals. But let's be honest, most of us aren't going to be professional athletes. But if your goal is to finish your degree, we can help. Come to a university that puts your goals first. Bellevue University, your partner in finishing goals.
McKinnon etches his name into the history books.
They hang on, and it's a new league record. They clinch their 5th straight playoff appearance.
And they solidify themselves a spot in the playoffs.
Starting with goals scored, of course, it's Trevor Ammon who wins the Golden Boot Award in the 2023 season. Had 5 goals and 4 assists last season, so needless to say, he improved on that tally this year. Was scoreless, though, in the first 3 games of the season. Then he came off the bench in the second half against Omaha, bagged a brace, which earned him a starting spot that he would never relinquish for the rest of the season, and was the start of a 7-goal tally in a 4-game stretch, which means once it got started, it wasn't stopping. He would collect 7 braces over the year and would only go one other 3-game stretch without scoring, and of course broke Emiliano Terzaghi's goal-scoring record in a single season of 18, so bested that by 5. Now, the Golden Playmaker winner is Arthur Rogers. He racked up 8 assists last season and collected Defender of the Year in 2022. Now Arthur has more than followed up that campaign with a record-tying 11 assists this go-around, tying the 2022 tally of Jonathan Bolaños. Now, I've talked about in the past the quote-unquote Arthur Rogers territory. Now, how's this for a stat? Of his 11 assists, 9 of them have come from set pieces. Add a goal onto that as well. Do not give the Hailstorm free kicks and corner kicks. or else the danger of Arthur Rogers and Trevor Ammon is going to shine through, both of them collecting the assist and goals tally each. This team knows how to score. Those two individuals especially know how to score, but Sean Lewis knows how to stop shots in a very competitive year as far as goalkeepers are concerned, including competing up against back-to-back Golden Glove winner Rashid Nuhu. It's a League One debutant winning the award this go around. He had 8 clean sheets, 85 saves to show as the new starting goalkeeper in Knoxville after coming over from FC Tulsa in Indy 11 last season. In a year where goals were aplenty, Sean Lewis only allowed 3 goals in a match one time. Something Pack, Nuhu, Delgado, Shipman cannot boast, each of them having at least 3 different occasions where they allowed 3 or more goals through. Now, if you've seen the tape, here are the numbers to show up in the race in each of these categories. Ammon leaps and bounds ahead of the likes of Olex Anderson and Nates Diop, but both of them having fantastic seasons. Anderson hadn't quite gotten that goal-scoring stretch in years past in USL League One. He found it this year, still generating chances in the assists as well. And then Nates Diop showing up on the scene as a youngster. Meanwhile, in the assists category, Arthur Rogers kept himself ahead for most of the year, but Alan Gavilanes, Luis Heel, Tate Robertson, all at different stretches of the season were racking up assists and were trying to catch up with Rogers, but the Hailstorm player ended up at the end of the day being the victor in this regard. Then, as far as the Golden Glove is concerned, there are a lot of great goalkeepers this year, despite how many goals were scored. Delgado leads the way in clean sheets. Austin Pack, who's not even on this graphic, led the league in saves, but it was Sean Lewis, the one who ended up rounding out the pack. With that in mind, we're going to step aside. When we come back, we've got more halftime content coming for you here on ESPN+.
News and notes from around USL League One in the final week of the regular season. The 2023 Players' Shield goes to Omaha. Union Omaha becomes the first club in league history to win it twice. They did so also in 2021. That year, of course, they won the playoff title as well. Katie Harnato is announced as the co-owner of USL Spokane, joining the club as president. She was already co-owner, but joining the club as president, that was just announced this week. Spokane Velocity continuing to do everything well in the build-up to their inaugural season. And midfielder Sharif Daye earned Player of the Week honors for his outstanding brace, his 2 goals in their last game of the season, that crazy 5-4 win at Richmond. If you haven't watched those goals, go back and watch the highlights from that game. Crazy match in general. Our team of the week from that final week of the regular season, 3 members of the Hailstorm involved: Arthur Rogers, Rendon, and Ammon, the usual suspects for them. Let's look at the tentative bracket as things currently stand. Union Omaha and Charlotte Independence, will they go head-to-head in the semifinals? That's not determined yet, but if they do, well, the season series ended dead even. 1 win, 1 draw, 1 defeat for either side in those 3 games. Omaha outscoring Charlotte 4-3 in total. They beat them 4-1 in their last meeting. A second-half hat trick from Steven Dos Santos. He gave them a lead early in the second half with that header there and would add on 2 more. If Charlotte were to play at North Carolina instead, that series also was tied in the regular season. Olex Anderson was a terror for NCFC. He was in general, but especially against Charlotte. He scored 4 times against them. But again, Charlotte more than held their own with a win and a draw as well. But they will have to be wary of Olex Anderson if they indeed play each other next week. So here's how the bracket looks, again, tentatively, because it depends on the outcome of our game tonight, which is still very much to be determined, of course. If Northern Colorado wins, then they would go to North Carolina to face NCFC. But if Forward Madison win, remember, it gets reseeded at the end of this current round. So the lower seed goes to play Omaha, who are the number 1 seed, Forward Madison being the 6th seed, of course. That would mean they would go play the Owls in a great rivalry game in the semifinals if it goes that way. All that to be determined in the second half, of course. We'll come back with highlights and stats from your first half and get you ready for half number 2. What kind of drama do we have in store still tonight? We'll start to find out next.
Shields All Sports Store is your one stop for everything outdoors, with local experts eager to guide you through the widest selection of brands. Your one stop for exercise gear to get working out or fashions for going out. And your one stop for footwear in your size, your style, yours to take home today. Shields, employee owned, community minded, and like no place you've ever shopped before.
Hello from NOCO Humane, your community partner for comprehensive animal welfare services in Larimer and Weld counties. While you may not recognize our new name and logo, we have more than 50 years of experience and expertise formerly operating as Larimer Humane Society. We have expanded our reach and our impact, taking on the sheltering and care of animals in Weld County in light of the dissolution of the Humane Society of Weld County. This transition ensures that vital animal services will not only continue but thrive, bringing even greater compassionate care and commitment to the pets and people of Northern Colorado. Join us as we heal, nurture, and protect more than 10,000 companion animals in the year to come. 2 shelters, 1 mission. NOCO Humane.
Northern Colorado with a 1-0 lead over Forward Madison as we get set for the second half. Let's look back at the highlights from our first 45. There were not a ton from Northern Colorado's standpoint. They were marshaled pretty well by Forward Madison for most of it. Noah Powder had an early crack from outside the box. Wasn't too far away. But those chances few and far between for the home side for most of that opening half. As Madison defended very well, did most of what they would have wanted to do. Billy King here also with a strike from outside the box. This one on target. Earned Shipman a save he would expect to make and did very solidly. This long ball forward from Noah Powder, though, causing chaos on the edge of the box. Shipman came out, didn't get there, collided with Nortie. Trevor Ammon picked up the loose change and slotted brilliantly into the corner. Well, let's not lose sight of what a good finish this is. I mean, watch the angle here that Ammon has. He has to cut across his body and find that opposite corner, but that's why he was the league's record goal scorer this year with 23 and now make it 24, including this one. First half stats saw 5 shots, 3 on target for Northern Colorado. Possession nearly dead even, both sides with 2 yellow cards. Here we go in the second half. Can Forward Madison dust themselves down and rally now on the road as underdogs, down a goal? Or can Northern Colorado put this to bed and advance to the semifinal to play North Carolina FC? You see the respective points totals during the year. Hailstorm finished 19 points ahead of Forward Madison in the standings. Connie Barnes back with you. We say hello again to the watch party at the Forward Club. Forward Madison fans watching their side on the road. A number of them have made the trip here as well, we understand. But it's Northern Colorado's lead at the moment. And interesting to see how Matt Glazer and Forward Madison tweak things now in the second half, now that they're chasing a goal. Might they have to open up a bit more? Northern Colorado were unbeaten when scoring first this year. 15 wins, 2 draws, no defeats. Lucky Oprah with a good drop of the shoulder. Protecting the ball and a neat switch as well, accelerating around Nazim Bartman, who tugs him back for the foul. Really good sequence from Lucky Oprah. Restart and the switch. Rendon. Ayman Zayed said this week, I'm really fascinated. If we score first, I'm really interested in what Madison do. He said they'll come to us with confidence and hope, but if they go a goal down, their players might drop their heads. I'm hoping to deflate them, and I think that first goal will deflate them if we can get it. Well, they got it. And the way it happened in particular, you would understand it being a bit deflating for Forward Madison. But can they pick themselves up now and rally nonetheless? That is the open question early in this second half. That's a wonderful ball. Hernandez didn't quite take it in stride, still chases it down by the corner. Hold back for Oprah. And now Nortie. Flicked back to Rogers. Only scored 1 goal this year, usually an assister. It's Powder, and Oprah tried to turn the corner, but was denied. Christian Cheney. The Mingos need him to really spark to life in this second half, and he's onto this, trying to bull his way in, but unable to get by Rob Cornwall. Now a foul right in front of the scorer's table. Timmy Mell sending Trevor Ammon tumbling. Mell clattering into Ammon. Did get something on the ball, but took out the man in the process. Back underway. By this right side, Billy King onto his left foot. It's still Billy King across the face, and Ammon only needed a touch. It skimmed over his foot, and it stayed out. Wonderful work from Billy King. Nearly led to Northern Colorado's second. We'll see it again. Great teasing run and control, and King in the end, maybe just a bit too much velocity on it. Northern Colorado applying the pressure early in the second half. You can tell they smell blood. They want to put this game away right now. And with the way forward Madison have unfortunately struggled to score this year, especially over the last couple months, a multi-goal deficit would be difficult for them to overcome. The Mingos won just 1 of their last 11 regular season matches, 3 of their last 16. It was a strange second half for them because they played well in a majority of those matches, but as we discussed in the first half, sometimes just not enough end product for those good passages of play. That was well done by Cheney, sandwiched then by 2 bodies. He's fouled. And the Mingos will have a free kick on the halfway line, 5 minutes into this second half. Even though they're down a goal, they do of course have plenty of time. They need to stabilize things a little bit here coming out of the break because Northern Colorado have started this second half very brightly. And they're threatening to maybe run away with this. Important for forward Madison to at least hang around and stay within a goal. Keep giving themselves a chance in this game. Brotherton able to advance. Trying to hit Kroll with that long ball. That was denied. Now Marky Hernandez. Make that Billy King. He thought he was fouled. So did the fans on that side of the pitch. Meanwhile, it's connected to Stephen Payne, who was muscled off the ball by Leo Fola, who almost went rampaging the other way. The flick on by Marky Hernandez didn't quite reach Ammon. A little bit frantic at the moment. That's not really how forward Madison like to play. Hernandez fouled. Noah Powder. Bruno Rendon, Arthur Rogers. Able to spray that ball around. Chested down by Opera. Powder in that gap, looking to thread one through, but Opera wasn't making the run that Powder thought he would make. Forward Madison patiently building out of the back. Good connection to the midfield. This is Martinez. Now Cheney laying it back to Martinez. This is good from forward Madison. This is Payne. Payne to the top of the area, not the best ball in. Comes back to Andrew Wheeler-Amanu, who can reset. Timmy Mell. See, Sam Brotherton has dropped into that center back spot now for the moment, it appears. Mell, it appears, has shifted more to the right. Mell is capable of playing those long balls like he did there. Foul called against Nazim Bartman. That was a good idea, though. This game features the two players that were in the top 3 for accurate long balls per game. See the foul again here on Bartman against Leo Fola. Both Timmy Mell and Arthur Rogers averaged around 6 accurate long balls per 90 minutes, which is really, really high. This is turned over to Billy King, and King threads in Marky Hernandez, who puts it over the top. Great opportunity for Northern Colorado to give themselves daylight, and Hernandez couldn't keep it down. He's been so red hot lately, you expected him to put this away. Just got under it, and he can't believe it. Mark that moment down if forward Madison come back in this game. Could have been 2-0, probably should have been. Still just the one, though. Back come the Mingos. Martinez. And Kroll. Martinez into the box. And it reaches Payne. Stephen Payne chipping it across. He couldn't connect with Cheney. It's put out for a corner. Good opportunity for the Mingos at the other end. And Payne just couldn't pick out a teammate. Had an opportunity to shoot as well. Those are the moments that they've got to capitalize on. It was a great first touch by Payne to get around one defender. Was he going to shoot? Was he going to square it? He had 2 players to aim for. Couldn't pick either of them out. Apparently that ball spun out. Yeah, it did go across the end line. It is a corner, the first of the second half, presented by Meadow Gold. Sachero to take. Sachero in. It's a great whips delivery. It is a throw for Madison. Kroll ready to launch this in. Took a bounce, and Sachero almost fell. Does fall to Payne now eventually. Just wouldn't bounce kindly for Madison in the end. Wouldn't sit down for somebody to have a shot at target. Switched back right side. Bartman got past one. Payne. Martinez. Isidro Martinez over the top. It's been a good response from forward Madison over the last 5 minutes or so. Northern Colorado were threatening to swamp them early in this second half. They've come back, had some opportunities, had some bright moments. Martinez frustrated he didn't do more with that. Flipped along by Cheney, that's good. This is Bartman trying to find Payne on the overlap, and Payne will track this down. Stephen Payne stands it up, back stick, it's in, it's 1-1. The Mingos have responded. It's Christian Cheney who cartwheels them level. Delgado beaten, and Madison are hardly beaten yet. It's 1-1 in the quarterfinal. Wonderful cross from Payne, and look at Cheney get up. There's the physicality, there's the presence, there's your number 9, burying the chance that he had to bury. The end product finally arrives for forward Madison, and they're very much in this now. His first goal since August. So many chances since then. Again, he does so many other things to help the team, but so frustrated that he didn't put some of those chances away down the stretch in the regular season. But that's the beauty of the playoffs. Score big goals in the postseason. All of that previous is forgotten. None of that previous matters. And now it is anyone's in Windsor. Now these next couple minutes especially critical. Madison want to make sure they keep their heads and don't give up something right after equalizing. Northern Colorado want to reassert their command. Again, the first 5 minutes of this second half, it was Northern Colorado who were so close to extending their lead. Remember that one-on-one chance. Marky Hernandez was through, put it over the top when he probably should have scored. Said to circle that play if Madison came back. Well, it only took about 7 minutes after that missed chance for 2-0 for it to become 1-1. It is on those swinging pendulum points that entire knockout matches and entire seasons and legacies can sometimes turn. Still plenty of time for Northern Colorado, though, to make that sequence not matter. They certainly have the firepower to do so, but that's lost by King. And here come the Mingos. Until they're feeling it now. And this falls kindly for Cicero. The navy blue shirts hustling back into position, so Cicero does the smart thing and retains possession. And now forward Madison can start playing their game again. Not a team that likes to chase, not a team that likes to try to force the action too much. They can get back to their ball possession game, their controlled game. They're right where they want to be once more. Of course, where they really want to be is in the semifinal against their arch rivals Omaha. And with an hour gone, they have every chance. This turns into a de facto water break because Northern Colorado have a player down. That appears to be Noah Powder. Let's see. Waiting confirmation on who that is, but both teams able to take a moment to reset here. Trying to see what might have happened. Oh, that's Norte who collapsed. Norte from London, who started almost every game for them last year. Has been a similar stalwart this season. Won the FA Youth Cup with Chelsea. Played alongside Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Nathan Ake, among others. We'll see if he's able to continue. He does not appear very optimistic. Yeah, they're going to make a change, looks like. In fact, it will be a double change made by Eamon Zayed. These will be the first substitutions of the night for either side. Jackson Dietrich and Danny Robles getting ready to come on. We'll see who else besides Norte is substituted off. So there you see Robles trotting onto the pitch. Dietrich preparing to do the same. Robles re-added to the squad just a couple months ago. Spent last year with the team. Spent this summer with Ballard FC, where he won the League Two title. Re-signed in August. Eamon Zayed had always wanted to keep him. And it is Marky Hernandez who comes off. So Dietrich on, Hernandez off. So Eamon Zayed essentially changing both halves of the base of his midfield. Hernandez and Norty are occupying those two spaces. They're both out. Dietrich and Robles both in. So frustrating end to the night for Marky Hernandez, but now it's Rendon sprinting the other way, and Bruno Rendon has pace. He's into the box. Rendon! It's across the face, and somehow it's scrambled away. It'll be a corner, but Isidro Martinez saved a certain goal, and he keeps Madison level for now. A potentially game and season-saving challenge by Isidro Martinez. It deflected across the face. Shipman got something on it. Noah Powder was right there with an open net, but Isidro Martinez came flying into the picture to take it away. You see him celebrate as if he'd scored, and he should, because that was as good as a goal. He might have injured himself in the process. It is a corner for Northern Colorado, and that's always dangerous. This will be their first of the night, the first opportunity for them to have Arthur Rogers swing in a corner kick. Presented by Meadow Gold. Rogers so dangerous from these. Into the mix, and it goes in! And Northern Colorado are back into the lead. Who got the last touch? They don't care. They're in front with 26 minutes to play. Their first corner of the night, and that might be Rogers' goal. That might be an Olympico. Let's see. Nobody else got a touch. Shipman got something on it, but not enough. He and Madison were insistent that he was fouled, but nothing was given. The flag stayed down. There's no VAR. It's 2-1 Northern Colorado. It is Arthur Rogers, just his second of the year. Straight from the corner. Told you he's dangerous. Usually it's because he plants that on somebody's head from a situation like that. That time he didn't need anyone else's head, or anyone else's foot, or anyone else at all. And suddenly Madison have it all to do again. Frantic sequence then. Martinez is on the ground again. Ammon has been whistled for the foul and can't believe it. Now both sides have to keep their heads once more. We need to remind you that Scotchy's Cleaners is the official uniform cleaning partner of Hailstorm FC, with 2 locations in Fort Collins and 1 right down the street from Future Legends. Scotchy's Cleaners can handle all of your dry cleaning needs. So, can Madison come from behind again? They certainly still have time to do it. Can Northern Colorado consolidate and build on a lead this time? Rogers chests down and rides those challenges well and releases Billy King. And King has 2 and then 3 in the box. King's cross, headed away. And it's the home side with the momentum again. Rendon trying to dance past Kroll, and then it goes across the end line. This is a goal kick. Trevor Ammon in the 45th minute, right before halftime. Christian Cheney in the 57th. Arthur Rogers in the 65th. The scoring so far. Stephen Payne. Forward Madison are about to make 2 changes at the next stoppage. Andrew Wheeler-Amanu on the ball here. Meanwhile, this is sliced forward, but an easy take for Delgado as that sailed. It's Derek Gephardt and Ozzy Ramos who are preparing to come on for Forward Madison for this final quarter of the 90 minutes. It's headed out by Mel, who came across to defend that. Let's see if those changes are made now. They will be. Ozzy Ramos and Derek Gephardt. Gephardt, an attacking figure generally, and certainly will be asked to help turn around this deficit here as he jogs on. Samuel Brotherton removed. Isidro Martinez, the other man who came off for Forward Madison. He had been on a yellow card, remember. Had that goal-saving intervention, but that was followed immediately by the corner that went directly in from Rogers. Christian Cheney had that elude him. Rogers looking to release somebody and does brilliantly. Rendon dancing on the edge of the area. Shipman out, and Shipman collects, and Rendon ran into him. Rendon's on a yellow, remember, and Forward Madison are insistent that he should walk. Does not appear that Joshua Encarnacion is inclined to show him a second yellow. Mitch Osmond, who is the captain, imploring Encarnacion to reconsider. Looks like it is going to be a talking to and perhaps a final warning for Bruno Rendon, which will not sit well with Madison, of course. Bernd Shipman receiving treatment after that collision. 70 minutes gone, 20 to go, plus stoppage time. See it again. Rendon going to chase this down till the end. I mean, Shipman has clear hold of that. Rendon definitely made contact. Shipman had gotten up and then went down again. It's been a rough last 25 minutes or so for him. That collision right before halftime that unfortunately for Madison resulted in Northern Colorado's first goal. Well, he's back up, and we go again. Well, stay on top of your pain and be on top of your game. Visit Top Shelf Organics, located just north of Future Legends Field. Stephen Payne. That's a neat layoff from Cheney, and he has the return ball. Christian Cheney looking to serve in a cross. Overhit it a bit. Looks like it'll stay in play along that end line. It does. On this sticky surface. Still alive for Madison then. Helped back into the area. There's Delgado. He drops it, but he was fouled as he collided with Cheney. And so now Delgado is down. Cheney trying to pull up, but he and Delgado came together. Lalo Delgado started 28 of the 32 matches for Northern Colorado this year and was stellar. He was incredible on penalty kicks this season. He made 4 official saves. Northern Colorado were whistled for 14 penalties on the year. Delgado faced 11 of those, and only 5 of them were scored, which is unbelievable. This long ball down the left, kept in play by Dietrich. Jackson Dietrich just in a couple minutes ago. Now Ammon. He's been a classic striker so far in that he hasn't been involved all that much, but he has a goal, and his side are in the lead. Rogers. That stays in for Robles. Robles able to win a throw off Mitch Osmond. So forward Madison have to come from behind late in this game against a side that were statistically the best defensive unit in the league this year. And of course at elevation, where it gets tougher and tougher the further into the game you go, in theory. Matt Glazer said it affects different players in different ways. Here's Lucky Opera. Space to run forward. Opera still trying to slide in Ammon. Ammon on the turn. Trevor Ammon tipped over the bar by Shipman, who keeps his side in it. There's how quickly he can spring to life. Only needed a half yard of space, if that. Opera did so well. Look how quickly he gets himself turned. Bang. Shipman alert to it. Had to be. Will be just the second corner of the match for Northern Colorado. Arthur Rogers scored from the first. Northern Colorado looking to put this away. Rogers in. And this time a good header away. Rendon waits for it to fall to him on the edge of the area and pulls it back for Robles. Robles looking for space to serve one in. Rolls it to King instead. King trying to turn the corner on Ozzy Ramos. Forced out to the touchline. Pink shirts all around him. And eventually a throw for forward Madison, who are getting ready to make another change. And that will happen now. Pierre De Silva is coming on for Andrew Wheeler-Amanu. There's De Silva, who's played for several USL Championship sides. Still just in his mid-20s. Can he make an attacking impact in these final 15 minutes and help force extra time, perhaps? So 3 of 5 potential changes made by Matt Glazer. He has 2 cards left to play. His side chasing a goal. Right now chasing the ball, Rendon. And then it falls for King. King's cross stood up, bounced past both Rendon and Ammon. Tracked down by Dietrich on the other side. Rogers. Shin guard went flying there. He was looking for a foul. Hold it all the way back. Cheney was marauding for it. That's a neat turn by De Silva. His first action in the game is a good one. Then he pings it forward. What a ball that is. Into the run of Derek Gephardt. Gephardt doesn't have a lot of help right now. Being stuck to by Cornwall. Keeps possession for Ozzy Ramos. De Silva, another good touch by him. Boy, he looks really good. His team need him to be. Mel, and then Payne. And Payne got a step on Dietrich. Stands up the cross. Top of the area, taken down by Cheney, and then struck by Ramos on target, but straight at Lalo Delgado. Excellent sequence by forward Madison. Come on for Northern Colorado at the next stoppage. He'll be replacing Bruno Rendon, we're told, who is on the yellow card, and who Madison thought should have been sent off about 7 minutes ago. De Silva. Ramos. Kroll. Nazim Bartman. Oh, neat turn. Bartman away from one. Tried to cut it back for Derek Gephardt. Didn't reach him. And Rogers can come the other way. And that's a neat release to Billy King. Ammon. Tackled away. No foul. On we go. Crowd howls. Nothing given. Cicero. It's Cheney. Christian Cheney. Blocked. What a block. A potentially goal-saving challenge by Leo Fola. It's out for a corner. More good build-up play from Madison. Cheney trying to drag it wide and cut it back across to the far corner, and Fola stuck right with him. So this Meadow Gold corner kick will be taken by Pierre De Silva. A left-footed outswinger. De Silva goes all the way through. Taken in by Gephardt. Pulls back for Payne, who serves it back into the mix. Heads go up, and the foul given, and the pressure relieved for Northern Colorado. Rendon clutching at his head, as is Christian Cheney. Boy, Cheney got way up there, and then you saw he and Rendon came together. That did not look good. Rendon appears to have gotten the worst of it. There's Breck Evans ready to come on. And it is Rendon who is about to be subbed off anyway. So that is a defensive change for Ayman Zayed, who might be going to 4 at the back. Breck Evans a defender for Rendon, an attacking midfielder. Rendon will sometimes play fullback, but he's very much an attacking fullback when he does. So Ayman Zayed wanting to shore up that back line for these final 10 minutes. What he and his team hope will be the final 10 minutes, as they try to see out this victory and advance to the semifinal to take on North Carolina FC next weekend. Breck Evans still waiting to be allowed to officially come on. Evans finally allowed to come onto the pitch. Christian Cheney was waiting to be allowed back on after receiving that treatment.
Attention for shift for substitution. Hailstorm are making their third change. Number 2, Breck Evans.
So both teams have changed 3 players out of a potential 5. Of course, in a game that does still have the potential to see extra time, coaches will sometimes hold changes back a little bit more than they otherwise would. Christian Cheney has been allowed back on now. So 11 v 11. Cheney challenging for that. Payne keeps it in. De Silva. Cheney, too much on it for Cicero, who applauded the idea. Ayman Zayed giving instructions, hoping to guide his side to their first ever playoff victory in just their second season as a club. This will be a free kick for them. Those, of course, are precious when you're trying to see out a game. For forward Madison, a season that has seen them return to the postseason for the first time in 4 years. Still has the opportunity to be much more than that, but time is growing short for them to make that happen. That's raked forward, but straight to Shipman. Ammon and Rogers for Northern Colorado, Cheney for forward Madison. Right now it's Arthur Rogers, Olympico, straight from a corner in the 64th. That is the winning goal. That was miscontrolled by Krull. And it's a Northern Colorado throw. Nice take by Gephardt, but then he was tackled off the ball by Rogers. Crunching challenges flying in. Cheney has it fall to him. And almost slipped in by Gephardt. Pulled back for Mel. Cicero. Payne had it left a bit short. Did well. Ozzy Ramos. Allowed to come forward. The overlapping run, Cicero and Cheney nearly. It was hooked away from him. Pierre De Silva. As now it's Northern Colorado's turn to sit back a bit and defend. And try to hang on to this lead. And of course, they'll still be very dangerous on the counter. Forward Madison turn it over. It's Mill. It's Payne. Cutting his way infield. Edge of the box with his left, stooping to head it away. And now Ammon looking to hold it up, wins the foul. That's exactly what he and his side want. Free kick, and they can let that clock melt. See the foul again. Clear catch of the ankle. We remind you the USL League One playoffs continue with the semifinals October 28th on ESPN+. Who will reach the final? Find out when the 2023 season concludes with the USL League One final November 5th on ESPN2. Josh Eastern and Ricky Lopez Espin will be on the call for that. Northern Colorado hope and plan to be there. Forward Madison still could be. They need a late equalizer here to have a chance at that. 5 minutes of the 90 remaining. We'll see beyond that. Robles protects and keeps. Evans. See forward Madison up and pressing more now. You see Matt Glazer urging them forward. That's too far for Ammon. It will be a throw. Damon Zayed unable to sit down. Many fans of both teams will feel the same way. Timmy Mell with that long ball ability. Could he pick one out here? Didn't see an opening. De Silva. He works it long, but shielded out and doing well again, Rob Cornwall. This is where Northern Colorado were so tough this year. Not only a very dynamic attacking side, but very difficult to break down when they decide to be as well. Ayman Zayed said that people talk about our firepower, but we're a side that's fundamentally built on being tough. Tough in defending, tough on challenges, cover for each other, do the basics well. They had that hiccup in mid-season where they lost 4 in a row. That ultimately cost them the Players' Shield, but they'd been able to get back to that tough form over the last 6 games where they had 5 consecutive clean sheets before giving up 1 to Chattanooga in their last game of the regular season, a game they still won 3-1. They might have a similar scoreline here. It's Trevor Ammon, and Ammon puts it away. Trevor Ammon, unstoppable, inevitable, and Northern Colorado have clear skies to the semifinal now. Slipped through by Robles, and Ammon smashed it into the roof of the net. The League One record-breaking goal scorer, 23 in the regular year, a brace tonight, providing the margin of a near certain victory now for the Hailstorm. And forward Madison's brave resistance and brave effort tonight appears as though it will come up short. They still have time to set up a frantic finale if they could pull one back right away. You'd expect there to be a decent amount of stoppage time added. Mel forward. Did that stay in play? It's deflected over, and apparently had to be. It will be a corner. The ball was not across the end line. Northern Colorado were claiming it was. The Mingos will have a set piece. De Silva hustling to take it. De Silva's outswinger, thumped away by Ammon, who's doing it all. Robles resets. It'll be a throw for Madison into the final minute of the 90. Lofted into the box. Bouncing ball taken down smoothly by Powder, and Powder is upended, and that'll suit Northern Colorado just fine.
Fans, get out your tickets once again for our final raffle of the evening. 2 tickets. First is number 403199. 403199. And the last and final ticket.
Well, Northern Colorado frustrated for most of the first half, scoring just before halftime on that mistake on the edge of the forward Madison box. The Mingos did really well to respond in the second half. Christian Cheney leveling in the 57th. And they were in a really good position then, but Arthur Rogers, as he's done so many times this year, swung the game back in Northern Colorado's favor in the 64th with that Olympico corner. Enoch Kwakwa comes on for Noah Powder for these final couple minutes. Kwakwa from Ghana, a product of the Manchester City Academy. Let's see how much stoppage time is being shown. We haven't had an indication yet. 7 minutes now. So there is still some time for forward Madison if they could get one back. Very tall task, of course. Still time for Northern Colorado to add another. This is Mel surging forward now. Payne. They've got to take risks. They already did. That was what allowed Ammon to be unmarked. Into the box, headed away. De Silva shielding it well. More good work from him. Now on the edge of the area, Cheney. And the attempted cross cut out. Chested down by Bartman, who keeps it in play. Mel. De Silva. Whipped into the area. And again, the defensive header was good. Scooped back in the direction of Cheney, but did not reach him. And Mel lost it to Kwakwa, and now the counter's on for Northern Colorado. Jackson Dietrich has Ammon to his left. Dietrich trying to surge down the middle. He ran into Ozzy Ramos. The referee tells him to get up. And then hoofed forward and out, and 5 minutes to go. Dietrich, see him colliding with Ramos, wanting the free kick. Joshua Encarnacion uninterested. Eamon Zayed discussing with the fourth official. He had made a pact with himself around August, he said, to just not talk to the officials anymore. Easier said than done, of course. But it appeared to be more of a good-natured conversation with his side leading by 2 in stoppage time. Looks like Timmy Mell has stayed down. Arthur Rogers is also down for Northern Colorado. They will certainly hope that's nothing serious. But it does appear that they will get that rematch with North Carolina FC next week in Cary. And that should be a tremendous game on the expansive pitch. One of the best surfaces in the league. 2 of the top attacking sides in the league. That's if Northern Colorado can see out these last several minutes without incident. We saw Greenville last night trail 3-1 in stoppage time and pull one back and set up a very uncomfortable finish for Charlotte, who ultimately hung on. This is Ramos. Northern Colorado have those navy blue shirts strung around the top of their penalty box. Madison unable to find a way through at the moment. Lofted in again. Cheney's in the vicinity. It might fall. It did fall. What a save. Lalo Delgado with his left foot kept it out. That was the chance for Madison to set up the grandstand finale, and Delgado said no. Now Billy King trying to spring Ammon, and the flag has stayed down, and Trevor Ammon's on a hat trick. Ammon puts it away! Golden Boot leader, hat trick hero in the playoffs. Trevor Ammon, the golden man for Northern Colorado, who are absolutely headed to the semifinal. He had Danny Robles to his left. He was never going to need him. He beat Shipman. He has almost single-handedly beaten forward Madison tonight. Another unerring finish from a man who, it seems, has not missed much this year. Every striker misses chances, but 26 now on the season for Ammon, and actually 27 if you include his goal in the Open Cup. And 3 tonight. He doesn't have the winning goal. That belongs to Arthur Rogers, but he has all the others for his side. And forward Madison will end up on the wrong side of a scoreline that for much of this game was a lot closer than it seems. De Silva having a hit there. They might have a chance to break forward again. It's Ammon who's tripped up. That'll be a card. So the late yellow card as we enter the final minute of stoppage time. Timmy Mill goes into the book.
Madison, number 5, Timmy Mill, in stoppage time.
And Arthur Rogers jogs off for this final minute. Stefan Lukic comes on to replace him for the final seconds. Rogers' goal in the 64th minute broke what was a 1-1 tie at the time. And then Ammon adding further tallies in the 87th and 95th. Lukic, of course, wants the ball right away. Flag was up for offside. There's the final whistle. They had to work for it, but it's a first playoff win for Ayman Zayed and Northern Colorado. The Hailstorm are storming on to the semifinal. Their first ever playoff victory advances them to their first semifinal in League One in just their second year of existence. And Trevor Ammon, a major reason why. Forward Madison fought really well. They played very well for long stretches. But Northern Colorado with just too much cutting edge in the end. Just too much Trevor Ammon in the end. Our play of the match presented by Meadow Gold is the winning goal, the one that wasn't scored by Ammon tonight for Northern Colorado. Rogers directly from a corner. Shipman thought he was impeded, but the referee didn't see anything wrong with it. And Rogers, with that goal in the 64th minute, put Northern Colorado back in front for good. As they would add the two more late on. Rogers celebrating with his teammates. They'll celebrate tonight. They continue to make massive progress as a club. A very young club, but one for whom the sky appears to be the limit. The Hailstorm with clear skies tonight in Windsor. It ends 4-1 in their favor. We'll come back and wrap things up from Northern Colorado after this.
Hello from NOCO Humane, your community partner for comprehensive animal welfare services in Larimer and Weld counties. While you may not recognize our new name and logo, we have more than 50 years of experience and expertise formerly operating as Larimer Humane Society. We have expanded our reach and our impact, taking on the sheltering and care of animals in Weld County. In light of the dissolution of the Humane Society of Weld County, this transition ensures that vital animal services will not only continue but thrive, bringing even greater compassionate care and commitment to the pets and people of Northern Colorado. Join us as we heal, nurture, and protect more than 10,000 companion animals in the year to come. 2 shelters, 1 mission. NOCO Humane.
Northern Colorado Hailstorm pulling away from Forward Madison to win this quarterfinal tonight, as Trevor Ammon celebrates his hat trick and his side's advancement to the semifinal. Let's look at the highlights from this one, as it was a really good matchup for a long time in this game. Very late in the first half, though, Noah Powder, just when it seemed like it would be 0-0 at the break, Brent Shipman came careening out of his area, didn't get there, and Trevor Ammon still had a lot to do with that finish, but as he has done throughout the season, he did all of it. Look at him take it under control, cut it back, then cut it back across to find that open corner. But Madison responded well early in the second half. They hauled themselves even in the 57th minute. Stephen Payne standing it up beautifully for Christian Cheney, and it was 1-1. And Forward Madison appeared to be in a really good position as the underdogs at that point. They had momentum, they had belief, they had Cheney's first goal in a couple months, they had the cartwheels, they had the good feelings, but Arthur Rogers wiped that away in the 64th with the Olympico. Burnt Shipman couldn't get across in time. He thought he was impeded, but no foul given. The goal was given, and it proved to be the winning one, as Northern Colorado would defend well over the next 20 minutes. There were a couple half chances for Madison, but then Trevor Ammon got behind the defense. Forward Madison had to take chances, had to throw bodies forward, left themselves open on the counter, and Trevor Ammon did the rest, slamming it in with his left. I told you he can score with his left, he can score with his right, or with his head. Tonight he scored 2 with the left and 1 with the right. That was his second of the night. Again, wild celebrations. And then the third, this one with the right foot, again on the counter, to complete his hat trick and complete a fine night for Northern Colorado and their young club. As Forward Madison with a good season as they make the playoffs for the first time in 4 years, but will still have to wait for their first postseason victory as a club. The final match statistics, 11 shots for Northern Colorado, 8 of them on target, which is quite an impressive ratio. It's one of the reasons they were the second leading scorers this year, of course. Forward Madison outpossessed them, but that didn't matter tonight. Here's the updated bracket, and this is final now. This is how the semifinals will look. It will be Charlotte to travel to Omaha to take on the Owls, and it will be Northern Colorado who will go to Cary to face NCFC. Two very tasty semifinals. Those will both be right here on ESPN Plus, of course, with the final coming your way the week after that. We hope you'll join us for those. Until then, for our great production crew, I'm Donnie Barnes. It's been wonderful covering USL League One all season long. We hope you've enjoyed it. And for everyone here from Windsor, Colorado, we say good night for now. Our final score in this League One quarterfinal, Northern Colorado Hailstorm 4, Forward Madison 1.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.